My name is Frankie James, and I am the director of the award-winning Black Awakening Choir. So Black Awakening Choir is a gospel choir here on VCU's campus, and we were founded in 1970 by our founder, Faye Smith, and other musicians such as Ernesto Younger, and a lot of other people who really kind of helped establish us here on campus. These students came together and wanted to start a choir, honestly, because there was no place for people of color to have and present worship here on campus before then. So the purpose of the choir was really to provide a space for us to just come, sing, praise, shout, dance, and just kind of honor God in our own way, in a way that wasn't available to us before that. Why did I choose to become the director? I don't know if I actually chose it. However, I have been in the choir for a while. I have been the choreographer, the chaplain, the assistant director, and when my previous director, Jojo Clark, was leaving to pursue other things, he was moving out of the city of Richmond, he asked me as assistant director if I wanted to be the director. So that was kind of my opportunity, and honestly, I said yes because I felt like I was ready. I had seen the choir in so many different lights, and here I am now. Preparing for concerts and events and anything is an interesting process, honestly. It all starts with for concerts specifically, we have a theme every year. So over the summer, normally I spend time and I pray and I kind of meditate on what I feel like God is trying to not only prepare us for, but to teach us for this upcoming year. So once we establish a theme, then I try to format and structure songs around that theme. Whether it's songs that have the theme in the title or get us closer to realizing that theme. And then we just prepare songs. So I listen to what I feel like the choir is going to be able to execute well, but also I feel like I listen to things that I feel like is going to grow the choir as well. I don't want to do something that's just easy or simple. I got my degree in music education here at VCU, so I try to use it because I'm still paying for it. So every time I get the opportunity to teach the choir something, I try to make sure that it's something that we can do well, but also it grows us. And honestly, people are coming to see us, to see the ministry that God has provided here. So I want to make sure that whatever we do with our concerts and engagements, that we are prepared well. So that comes with rehearsals, practices, choreography practices, sectionals. There's just so many things that I try to utilize to make sure we're prepared. Ooh, all right, so yes, bringing out the best in each singer is an interesting challenge as a director because there are so many people from so many walks of life. And church choir and gospel choir culture is very different now than it was when I was in the choir and it was when my parents were growing up as well. So because I know that everybody comes from a different musical background and even a different church background, I make sure that I'm assessing people vocally, I'm assessing where people came from culturally, so that way I can provide resources to make sure that people understand what we're doing here as a gospel choir. Because at the end of the day, we are a gospel choir who ministers and sings and worships. So if I know that I have people coming in from different walks of life, I want to make sure that I'm breaking down music, breaking down church culture and choir culture, having sectionals. There's been people that I've had one-on-ones with who may not have come from the most musical family or maybe never sang in a choir at all. So I'll take them to the side and do one-on-one vocal lessons with them, once again using my degree that I'm still paying for. So I just really try to see and meet people where they are to make sure that they're the best they can be. So challenges of being a choir director. I can write a book on this, but honestly, the biggest challenges I've seen personally is, like I mentioned before, church is different now than it was when I was in the choir. And it was different when the choir was founded. So my biggest challenges is just with the songs that we sing, because gospel choir is rooted in a lot of things. And when you listen to gospel music, even new age and contemporary modern gospel music, they all funnel themselves through what we feel is the traditional gospel sound in some capacity. And I won't go into all of the different types of music and church music and things like that. But when it comes to gospel music, there is a sound to gospel music. And I find myself now having to teach that sound in different ways. Before it was you grew up in it. You were sitting in your auntie or grandma's lap in the church choir. And when you came to college and you sang in a gospel choir, it was in your ear, it was in your blood. Now there's so many different facets and avenues of music in the church that when people come to the choir, they might not have ever sang gospel music in their life. They may have only heard CCM. They may not have heard anything at all. So I find that teaching gospel culture becomes a challenge, but it's a good challenge because it exposes people to things that they either haven't experienced or that they want to know more. So that's one of my biggest things, is just kind of teaching gospel music and honestly choreography sometimes. Not everybody as a gospel choir that we are that has a physical presentation, sometimes not everybody has the most rhythm or has ever danced before or has moved and sang at the same time. Because choreography, it doesn't have to be choreographed things. It could just be moving with your body and using your hands, using your facial expressions. And sometimes people don't know how to do that effectively because they never had to do it before. So it's those things that sometimes can be a little difficult. My favorite, the favorite thing that I think that we've done a lot of things. And I'm trying to think if I have a favorite moment for us. Honestly, it might have to be something that we did this last semester. Is a song called The Lord Reigneth. And it was not only challenging musically, there was choreography elements that went along with it that kind of accented some of the musicality of the song. And getting the choir locked in to be sharp and crisp and precise, but also to project vocally all at the same time was a challenge, but when it all came together, the choir looked good, they sounded good, and you got to see the labor and the benefits of the labor in real time. So I still have that video on my phone, and when I honestly may pull it back. We may have to run that back a little bit because it was good. Okay, so my favorite gospel song, or my favorite hymn rather, is a hymn called It Is Well. And I've sang that song for several different things. I was first introduced to it as a kid, just growing up in church and hearing hymns, but I recently have been singing it at funerals, unfortunately, but I sang it at some funerals for my family and for others. And listening to the lyrics, when peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. And living life and having lived life, living through some things, some rough things, some hard things, some things, unexpected things, I've just learned that no matter what comes, it is well with my soul. Like, God's got me, it doesn't matter what's going on. So I've learned to kind of lean on the lyrics of that song a little bit, and it's helped me to reframe some things in life that might have otherwise taken me out or pulled me deeper into darker places. But just knowing that it is well, whatever happens, it's well with my soul. So choir music, choir in general, to me, it means a lot. I grew up in the choir. I started singing in the youth choir when I was 5 years old. So I've been singing for a long time. We were supposed to wait until I believe we were like 6 or so, but the choir director at my home church was, I guess my parents asked, or maybe he heard me sing something, I'm not quite sure. But he pulled me into the youth choir, and from there it really established my understanding and appreciation of music. Because to me, I always say there's nothing like a choir. A choir is a place where you can learn not just music, but also community. We have to sing together. We have to work together. It's a difference between singing a solo or being in a small ensemble or being in a choir. All great things and all teach you different things musically, but in terms of being in a choir, that's where you learn how to blend with your neighbor. That's where you learn how to harmonize. That's where you learn how to follow direction, how to operate on the fly sometimes, how to be impromptu in terms of music. Sometimes we have to run things. You learn endurance in a choir because when you see this, you know that we're gonna run that part a bunch of times. So being in a choir, especially a gospel choir, its roots as well is in family and culture and community. So when I tell people about what we do, and when people ask me about what choir means, I always reference that community aspect. I always reference not only the musical, but also the practical, because being in a choir, sometimes you get lifelong relationships. Being in the Black Awakening Choir for me has afforded me the opportunity to meet brothers and sisters and mentors and people who I trust with my life, who I will go to and I can go to about anything. So the choir is more than just music, it's community. So referring back to honestly my question that I just answered and how I believe that the choir brings people together, it brings them together through music, but also that community aspect. Because when you are with people, especially with us, we rehearse Mondays and Thursdays, and we're here about 5 hours a week, not including engagements and concert time and prep and things like that. But once you're in a choir, you learn the people around you. You become family with the people around you. So there are some people coming here who, yes, have never been in a choir at all, but we have people who are only children. We have people who come from blended families. We have people who come from different cultures and communities and walks of life. And when you're around people so often, you have no choice really but to become closer to them, whether it's by time or just by conversations. And when you are in a choir, you do get the opportunity to lean on other people, to trust other people, to become connected to other people. So I think that choir provides that opportunity for people to find love, to find community, to find family, to find answers, and honestly to find faith. We've had people in the choir who don't come in believing, who are agnostic or atheist or have been hurt by the church, and the choir, especially a gospel choir, provides the opportunity for people to possibly find faith again. For me, the choir has strengthened my faith in a lot of ways. I come from a church background. My mother's a minister. I grew up in the church. So really trusting in God and believing in the Christian walk was like breathing for me, like I've known it all my life. But being in the choir, especially being away from home, coming to college and just being on my own, the choir helped root my faith a little bit more. When you're on your own, you have to answer things on your own. You have to figure out things on your own. And having that foundation for me was important, but also having a place to continue that foundation and continue my faith walk was also very important for me. So the choir has certainly strengthened my faith by, one, putting me in a constant place to be able to express my faith and to be able to learn. There's been people who I've learned how to trust more, how to dig deeper, how to believe in God when the life is crazy and things are going on. And even being director of the choir has strengthened my faith because I'm responsible for people. I am leading people in their faith walk and faith journey, so I have to be locked in with my own, and I have to navigate when I'm not feeling well, when life is hard for me too. But the lessons that I've learned by being in the choir and by directing the choir has helped me be a better choir director and just a better Christian overall, because life gets hard, but God works overtime. And I've learned that and seen that time and time again. And I can attribute that to my involvement in the choir by learning how to navigate my faith. So if I could describe my directing style in 3 words, I would have to say, no pun intended, direct. I feel like I'm very direct in my directing style. I'm dynamic. And if you know anything about me, I have a lot of energy. So my hands are moving and everything is happening, but that just speaks to my personality. And I would say diligent as well. That just sounds so churchy to have 3 Ds, direct, dynamic, and diligent, but that's my upbringing. But yeah, diligent for sure, because I make sure that we get the job done, and I make sure that if I need something, I'm using my hands and I'm gonna pull everything out of people. So that's just who I am. So if Black Awakening had a theme song, there is a song by a group called the Life Center Charlotte Choir, and it's called Mighty Long Way. And the song speaks to God bringing them and us a mighty long way. And when I think about Black Awakening, not just current Black Awakening, but Black Awakening from 1970 until current, speaking about the history, about the founders providing a space for an outlet of worship on campus for people of color when there was none, and to see all the things that we've done, winning awards, getting international recognition, having phenomenal directors, having life-changing moments here, not just at engagements and concerts, but in rehearsal. I would say that the Lord has truly brought us a mighty long way, both in ministry and musically, culturally, socially, spiritually, all those things. So that is a song that I feel like embodies the heart of Black Awakening. Have I ever seen a song or moment shift the atmosphere for the choir? Yes, I have. And it happens often, and that's just a testament to how God is moving in the choir. And honestly, last rehearsal was a moment where the atmosphere really shifted, and it happened unexpectedly. We're preparing for our concert now, so we were going through our entire concert set list, and we got to one song, and the soloist was really pressing, and I really feel like answering whatever God was calling him to do at that point in time, and really driving and leading, and the atmosphere shifted, and then I picked up the moment and continued the atmosphere, tried to really listen and see what God was doing, and then it went from what was rehearsed to unrehearsed very quickly. And there was lifting of hands, there was crying, there was just adoration and appreciation, and when those moments happen, it just shows me how important it is to be locked in with God and locked into the voice of God as well. Because I tell the choir all the time that this is the space where you learn how to hear from God, where you learn how to operate and flow in the Holy Spirit. So that way when you leave here, you have the understanding and experience. Because people come, like I said before, from all walks of life. And some people, like, I don't know what's going on. There's somebody crying. There's somebody in the corner. I'm not sure what to do. But it's moments like this where it's a safe space and a safe place for us to be able to learn how to navigate in those moments. If I could give advice to anybody who wants to be first in the choir, if you want to be in the choir, just come as you are. Come with the desire to work and to sing and to be stretched, because this is a place where we grow not just musically but spiritually and just socially as well. But also keep an open mind, right? You're gonna learn things not just because we're learning music, but like I said, at least under my direction, I love music education. I'm a people person and a teacher by nature and by heart, so we're going to learn how to be better musicians as well. I would also say come prepared to have a good time. We have a good time here. We laugh, we joke, we sing. We are truly a family and we support each other. So come prepared to become a better person because of the good times that we have, because of what we do as a choir. And also come prepared to learn about gospel music. Come prepared to learn the history, to learn the foundations, to learn what makes gospel music different from other types of music, what makes it important, why it's still here, present and relevant today, and has withstood the test of time. And if anybody is wanting to be a choir director, my advice for them is have patience, for sure. You never know, you always get a different group of people, especially in a college choir, because people come and they graduate and they move, so you're always having a cycle of new people. Come being able to learn people and to learn from people, because just because you're a director does not mean you have all the answers. It does not mean you know everything. You have a wealth of knowledge and you are the figure to teach people, but just like working with people, any educator, good educator knows that just as well as you teach, you have to be willing and open to be taught as well from those who you are teaching from. So if you want to become a choir director, yes, be prepared to teach, but also be prepared to learn some new things, because you get a different group every time. And what works for one might not work for another one. So you have to be flexible as well. You have to be knowledgeable. You can't come in unprepared. You can't come in thinking you know it all, but have not spent time to prepare your music, to prepare your directing style, to prepare your musical knowledge. And as a choir director, you have to work with your band. Right, so you have to not only teach singers, but you have to know what's going to work and be conducive and important for communication between you and your band as well. And speaking specifically for a gospel choir director, you have to have your relationship with Christ on lock. You have to be praying, meditating, being in your word, studying your songs, yes, for music, but also for the scriptural content, for the spiritual content. Because if you are trying to teach a choir how to embody ministry, how to embody the Spirit of God through music, you first have to have that understanding for yourself. And that is what really makes choir and gospel choir different than anything else, because there is something that you don't get from the secular space. There is something that we are pulling from and holding on to that is greater than all of us, and that is the Spirit of the true and living God. And He works in us all the time and every time. And I'm not trying to get super preachy here, but my life has been so changed by the Black Awakening Choir. And I've learned so much as being a member and a director that any chance I get to show how much the choir has both changed me and just continues to change the lives of those in the choir, I will talk about it any and every time. See y'all so much. Thank you so much for interviewing me for this. I really appreciate that. I hope that whatever I've talked about has both encouraged you and informed you. And if you want to join the choir, come on, we have open rehearsals every semester, fall and spring. We are here, we're not going nowhere, and we are open and welcome and inviting to anybody who wants to sing about the goodness of the Lord. Oh, bonus question. All right. Ooh, who's my favorite student on the choir? You are not going to trip me up with that question. I love all of my students because I learn so much. There are so many different personalities. Some people I learn from just because of how I've had to teach them musically. Some people I learn from just because of how I've had to mentor them outside of the choir. And some people I see outside of the choir in church or in other organizations. So I honestly cannot have one favorite member because they've all taught me so much.